What's good, everybody? It's Shaq with Surge's Collection back here for day 2 update of our speed running opening at LGS. This will probably be a short video, but yesterday was the first day. We got the keys. We came in, we measured the entire space. We decided on all the different fixtures from flat walls to glass displays to H gondolas. And then I had a bunch of items that I bought on Amazon during Prime Day. So basically moved all that stuff from my house into the space. And so that was pretty much yesterday. Just a lot of measuring, a lot of figuring out where everything should go, mapping things out, marking things, putting sticky notes down, and then finally moving everything over. Haven't really unboxed anything that we've ordered so far, but the plan is over the next few days to take a couple hours each night to start unpacking. A lot of the stuff really can't really do nothing with until we get a lot of the fixtures, the tables, and the things that a lot of these items go on. But that was pretty much the update for yesterday. Now moving into today was more housekeeping. We did a lot of the stuff around the store. Also, one of the requirements of our lease, we have an HVAC maintenance contract that we need to get. So we've been talking to different people and we're sending images. So today I came into the shop and basically took a lot of photos, uploaded those, and then sent them to them, and videos as well on kind of our HVAC units. And we're also going to have the maintenance our cooler. So just wanting to get the quote on that. So we also did that. And then of course, looked around the entire place, marked any issues that we saw, so that way we can go to the landlord tomorrow. We can't find a cable for internet connection, so just need to figure out, there's nothing internally, so is it on the outside of the building, or just need to figure that out. So that's kind of the second thing. And then there's some more housekeeping, some cleaning things, but for the most part, the space was sent to us in a really pristine condition. So kudos to our landlord for that. So, but that was pretty much what we did today. For the store. A few other things, more of just things that I've been doing on my own. So starting to put together a list for our launch, our event. So friends and people in the community that I wanted to invite this space, working on kind of some of the ad copy and creatives and things like that to get the word out for on the store. So that's kind of some of the stuff I've been doing, and then also planning for this week. So really have every single day planned. As you know, we're launching on August 1st. So it's a pretty sprint, and so every day there's a lot of different tasks, from task in the store, unboxing, setting things up, ordering stuff, from task at home, from doing our Google business profile, setting up our different social media sites. And thankfully, we've been around for a long time, so we have a lot of the things already. It's just making sure that everything is set up and situated for being a retail store versus just an online e-commerce business. So going forward, I'm going to try to keep these videos to kind of 3 parts. So the first part, I'm going to talk about what I did today. Typically, I won't talk about yesterday because I would have done that yesterday. So what I did today, then I want to do some business learning. So been a business owner for a while. I've helped a lot of businesses grow, been an investor, just have a lot of different experience. So just different topics and things around business to help you if you're looking to open a store, you're looking to open any type of business. This is pretty applicable, whether it's cards, whether it's something else. And then the final part, I'll just talk quickly about what I think I'm going to do tomorrow, and then we'll see in the next video if it actually gets done. So moving on, kind of the business learning. So I want to talk about me real quick. As you saw in my previous video about my recap of my journey here, I've always had a really good job. I work in tech. Always had a really good job throughout this thing, so I didn't have to necessarily pull money out of the business to grow my online business. And as of now, I also don't need to pull out any money from the business to provide for myself for the store. So really the focus on how do I get the store to cash flow break even, and then eventually grow it to a certain point. So we're going to be hiring people and things like that, but wanted to say, caveat by saying all this is not a decision that you take lightly. This is not something that you jump into. Years of planning in terms of your financial stability and your situation. I have a really good job where it's really flexible for me, and I'm able to focus in the evening times on the store, and in the morning time getting my work done. So that's kind of the thing. And so happy to answer any questions and go into more detail and answer just any questions you may have about how to get started, what to do. And so just wanted to caveat, like I said, I'm not starting from square zero. I also don't need to pull any money out the business. So I'm in a little bit of a privileged situation that I understand. So going into that, I mentioned that I'll be working a job during the day and then the evening. So our hours. So really did a lot of research on hours, looked around at all the different stores. I think eventually we want to be open, probably not 7 days, probably 6 days, 1 day to rest, give employees a day off. But that's what the end goal, 12-hour days, 11-hour days, things like that. Start at 11 and then 9 or 10, depending on, as we go. But for now, year one, first few months as we get going, really don't want to over kind of open and have so many hours, and then you're thinking about, how to staff it, but also like my bandwidth and things like that. So to start, we're just going to be open. This is what I think could change in the next 2 weeks. We're going to open. We're closed on Sundays, closed on Mondays for now. We're open 5 days. Tuesday through Friday will be 4 to 9 p.m. And then Saturday will be 1 to 9 p.m. We'll have a play space, so we'll have people playing. Of course, if there are people here past 9, we're still gonna allow them to finish their matches and things like that. But essentially, we'll turn off the open sign and close down on that way. So that's what I think about hours. I do think, in the short term it hurts a little bit, right? You're seen as more of a hobbyist versus a full store because you're not open 60 hours like some of the other local stores. But you got to do what you got to do to get started. Take baby steps. Don't take the entire risk. So this is a calculated risk for us. Okay, let's see how we do for the first 3 to 4 months. Let's staff it with a few employees. Let's see our coverage. Let's see our hours. Let's see how I'm doing with this and the job. And then we'll kind of go from there. So that's kind of the second thing that I wanted to talk about today, just as it's something that came up. My sign person was asking what are hours. And so it was a big decision. And also, like, when you look at your Google business profile, typically when you're open is kind of when they show you. So if you're not open for a lot of the day, it can hurt your rankings because people are searching during the day. But I figured, hey, in the area we're in, you've done a, market analysis, you've done kind of a demographics analysis. A lot of people are working during the day. A lot of people are in tech. A lot of people are in just different white collar jobs. And so typically they're working in the day and then they'll come off, get off at 4 or 5. And so we think 4 is the sweet spot for now, but close at 9. Like I said earlier, the lighting is not the greatest, and I want to make sure keeping safe environment. So we're thinking about closing at 9. Eventually, at some point, we'll extend that to 10. But that's pretty much kind of the business learnings. Talked about my experience and things like that, as well as just hours and how I thought about that. So yeah, said this was going to be a short video. Apparently not, but I'm going to try to keep these updates under 10 minutes, potentially under 5 minutes. Just depends on what we do. Tomorrow, next up for us, we're going to be doing a lot of our fixture ordering. So we're going display-orama for all of our fixtures, slat walls, displays. So I have everything written out. I got the rep already. We had invoice last week, so now it's going back and updating based on our measurements. So we're gonna have a lot of slat wall, about four glass displays. We'll have a couple gondolas. Not the biggest fan of gondolas, but we do have a lot of space. And so fixtures, placing that order, also working on security. So scissor gate, different things like that, calling different alarm system companies to figure that out. And then the third thing is the landlord. So really getting a lot of these questions answered. The back door is something we need to get fixed quickly. I need to figure out what we can do in terms of lighting. What do we need to get in terms of that? Do they already have solutions? I see every single other tenant, besides maybe 1 or 2, has lighting. Was that something they added on, or was that before? We'll get a lot of clarity on a lot of the stuff from the landlord. Tomorrow is a big planning day, and then I have the rest of the week kind of planned out. So typically in the morning I'll go to work, and then after I get off of work, I'll try to come to the shop. Sometimes I got to go run errands and things like that. But the goal is, hey, even if you have to do something on your laptop at home or whatever, like, come to the shop, start opening some boxes, start taking things out, start organizing, just get a feel of the space, get a feel of the traffic as you're driving in, understand how, Tuesday differs than Thursday, how Saturday. So that's kind of the full scope. The last thing I'll leave you with, last Saturday, there was a couple World Cup matches, and we're actually right behind a brewery. And when you drive in, you take that first right, and then basically that's the brewery parking, and we're right across from that. And so we pulled up, and there was probably about 150 cars there. So I think for us, that's just really positive sign. I think when you're talking about, different sporting events, World Cup, or football season, there'll be a lot of traffic that comes into the store. And so when I was planning out this and casing this, I didn't realize it was going to be this busy, but I think it's an added benefit for us, both in terms of, hey, a lot of people walking in, people telling people about us on that end. But I also think there's a little bit more risk in this, just in the sense of a lot more foot traffic, making sure that, you have everything protected. So I'll stop rambling now. I know this is a pretty long video with a lot of cuts and a lot of takes, but maybe at some point I'll show all the bloopers at the end of this. But for now, that's all I have. Until next time. Peace.